because this is really remarkable. This is Bill Maher, who sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't. I've been watching Bill Maher for years, and you might recall, actually, he was an actor at the very beginning. You can actually see him in an episode of Murder, She Wrote, for instance, many, many decades ago now. But he gravitated from acting into stand-up comedy. He's hugely successful, of course, with his show. And if there's anything good about Bill Maher, it's that he can be honest about the left. He can be honest about the hypocrisy of the left, and he can look things in the face. He can look political dynamics directly in the face and say, this is farcical, or this is a lie. And here's what he's talking about Canada. And of course, as a liberal, he's always looked to Canada for its social programs, its Medicare, its gun control, and its liberal social policies. And he talks about these, but this is well worth watching.
These stats because I have it out for Canada. I love Canada and its people and always have. But I hate zombie lies. Zombie lies. That's when things change, but what people say about them doesn't. Yes, for decades, places like Vancouver and Amsterdam and Stockholm seemed idyllic because everything was free and all the energy we needed was produced by riding a bike to your job at the windmill. Canada was where all the treasured goals of liberalism worked perfectly. It was like NPR come to life. But with poutine. Canada was the Statue of Liberty with a low-maintenance haircut and cross-country skis, a giant idealized blue state with single-payer health care, gun control, and abortion on polite demand. Canada was where every woke white college kid wearing pajama pants outdoors who'd had it up to here with America's racist patriarchy dreamt of living someday. I mean, besides Gaza. There's only one problem with thinking everything's better in Canada. It's not. Not anymore, anyway. Last year, Canada added 1.3 million people, which is a lot in 1 year, the equivalent of the U.S. adding 11 million migrants in 1 year. And now they're experiencing a housing crisis even worse than ours. And we're sleeping in tents. The median price of a home here is $346,000. In Canada, converted to U.S. dollars, it's $487,000. If Barbie moved to Winnipeg, she wouldn't be able to afford her dream house, and Ken would be working at Tim Hortons. And because of mortgage debt, Canada has the highest debt-to-GDP ratio of any G7 nation. I don't know what that means, but it sounds bad. So does their vaunted healthcare system, which ranks dead last among high-income countries in access to primary health care and ability to see a doctor in a day or two. And it's not for lack of spending. Of the 30 countries with universal coverage, Canada spends over 13% of its economy on it, which is a lot of money for free health care. Look, I'm not saying Canada still isn't a great country. It is, but those aren't paradise numbers. If Canada was an apartment, the lead feature might be America adjacent. And if America was a rental car, Canada would be America or similar. And again, honestly, Canada, I'm not saying any of this because I enjoy it. I don't, because I've always enjoyed you. But I need to cite you as a cautionary tale to help my country. And the moral of that tale is, yes, you can move too far left. And when you do, you wind up pushing the people in the middle to the right. At its worst, Canada is what American voters think happens when there's no one putting a check on extreme wokeness, like the saga of Canadian shop teacher Kayla Lemieux, whose pronouns are she, her, and those. Kayla is now back to being a guy named Kerry, but 2 years ago when they showed up to teach children, the progressive high school they taught at said that they, the school, not the person. Really, you couldn't have found another word. We were using that one. Anyway, okay. They were committed to a safe environment for gender expression. Safe for who? What about the children? What? What about the equipment in that shop class?
Yes, what about the equipment on that shop class? Now, he goes on to talk about how Canada has become an example of what not to do. Canada has become a laughingstock. And Bill Maher didn't even get into thought crime alert, because that's where we're going with Trudeau's Online Harms Act, that you can be put under house arrest for what you may be thinking and what you might say. Yes, we're living in George Orwell's 1984 in Canada, or we're getting there very quickly. And that's what Trudeau wants to do. You know, and that's what Poilievre said at the Canada Strong and Free Convention Friday, I believe. He talked about the fact that 1984, if Trudeau has ever read it, and I doubt he has, because all he likes are mindless superhero comic books and science fiction novels. But if he ever read it, he would have seen it as a plan, Poilievre says, not a warning. That's exactly it.
Unimaginable. It would have been unimaginable 8 years ago, before Justin Trudeau, to think that not only would he pass a law to control what you can see and say on the internet, but he would then put forward another law which could put you under house arrest or a peace bond under suspicion of something unacceptable you might say in the future. You know, this guy, if he had read 1984, he would have thought it was an instruction manual and not a warning.
Trudeau looks at the totalitarian template and says, that's what I can do to Canada. That's how I can further punish Canadians. Make them poor, make them less free, make them unable to say what's on their mind, make their lives miserable. And that's what he's doing. But we're fighting back.
Thank you for watching this episode of Stand on Guard and being a part of the KRAYDEN'S Right channel. If you've watched this episode to this point, you've watched it all. And that's really important for a small station like this. We always say subscribe, hit the bell, be a part of the KRAYDEN resistance. Resolve to resist. That's what we're doing. And if you become a subscriber, if you're a supporter of this station or a member through Substack, through YouTube, and now you can be a local as well, that's so important to us because I couldn't do this without you. I made a decision to become an independent journalist about a year ago because I wanted to bring all of my experience in the military, in journalism, to you. I don't promise anything I can't deliver. I don't offer clickbait. I offer truth. The truth is out there, and it's my job to bring that truth to light and to you. Thanks for being a part of the KRAYDEN'S Right resistance, and we'll see you again soon.
So we are in a very precarious position in this country. We need a political change, but we also need to resolve to resist.